What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Looks like the Clippers are definitely setting their sights on looking at a big man, a center position, and to fill that center position role, or I guess at least to have another body in the center position. As of right now, of course, they got Zubac and Hartenstein. But a couple of names that was interesting in regards to the big men that they're looking at currently as we speak is right now they're looking into or possible names that they might actually be able to acquire based upon their contracts not being high at all and very, very affordable. They're looking at Dwight Howard. Also, which kind of shocked me, a name that was thrown out there again was Demarcus Cousins, which I don't know if that's going to be a go because, Demarcus Cousins was already there. And I feel like they should have kept Demarcus Cousins when they had him. And I feel like he was a good fit with the Clippers. I really did. I feel like he was, kind of finding his footing, and things like that. And the other name that is thrown out there is Drummond. And when I think about those three players as big men, honestly, I like all of them as far as a fit with the Clippers. I really do. Because there again, Ty Lue can definitely make the best out of anything that he has, any piece that he has. So I like all three of those guys actually as far as possibly being a fit for the Clippers. I don't know if they would actually let go of Hartenstein or anything like that in a package deal or anything. But if they were thinking about doing a trade, but I definitely, like all those picks. I definitely like all three of them. I think Demarcus Cousins adds versatility, which he did, when he was with the Clippers for a very short stint. But I definitely think he can come off the bench the way he did with the Clippers and, come in there and give some instant offense, and make some things happen. I like Dwight Howard because he's almost the same way. He's not the superstar player that he once was in regards to dominating and being a huge force in the paint, but he still can alter shots. He still can, change, a lot of guys, point guards who come in there with layups and crafty layups and things like that. He can alter some of that because his length, he's a big body, and he still moves his feet all right, decent to be, an older guy in the NBA now, compared to what, years ago when he was a dominant superstar in the league. And even Drummond, Drummond has had his issues as well the last couple of years, but he's been an all-star one or two times as well. So, he knows what it's like to be a pretty decent big man in the NBA. He definitely can give the Clippers a double-double, just as the other two candidates I just spoke. Well, I'm not sure about Dwight Howard, but I know Demarcus Cousins still could, and I think Drummond can too. Drummond is just, one of those centers that likes to, be ingratiated in the game more. When he doesn't get enough playing time, only problem with him is he kind of gets a little uneasy, when his minutes are diminishing, or when he doesn't feel like he contributes enough. He tends to, voice his opinion based upon that from the last couple teams he's been on. But other than that, like I said, regardless, all three of those picks would be good either in a possible trade or maybe just pick them up, based upon their contracts, which would be even better. So they don't have to trade anybody. They can just add to what they have. But if I had to pick from one of the three specifically, I personally like Dwight Howard the most. I mean, if they're able to land Dwight Howard and steal him from the Lakers, I think that would be huge for the Clippers, because I feel like Dwight Howard doesn't score the most points between those three big men, but I feel like Dwight Howard is the most experienced. And I feel like, Dwight Howard has more basketball IQ than both Demarcus Cousins and Drummond put together, simply because he's been in the league longer. He's been a superstar, a mega superstar at one point in time, and he's helped lead a team to a championship. I mean, well, not to a championship, but he helped lead the Orlando Magic, to a finals, and he won a championship, with the Lakers. So he knows what it's like to be in big games. And in the bubble, Dwight Howard made a big impact from what I remember. He played some really sound defense. And if you looked at this year specifically, specifically, there were some games down the stretch when they started playing him more. He was knocking down free throws at a pretty decent clip, which is, very good for a big man like him. And, as far as, just being a big body in the paint and, moving his feet a little bit, he still can move his feet some. He's not the Dwight Howard he was, of course, but his IQ allows him to keep playing basketball. And that's what I like about him. And I just think that, if a team gets him that has an opportunity to win a championship, they definitely could utilize his wisdom, his good locker room presence, and his high spirit. He's always had that high spirit and good locker room presence. And he definitely understands the game from basketball from another perspective, which is the reason why he's still a decent, effective big man that you can plug in at times off the bench and who will give you, very good, substantial minutes in regards to, how he affects the game. Because when he's out there, not only can he, maybe block one or two shots, like I said, he can alter shots. If he gets on the free throw line, he can knock down some free throws. He's a lot better at free throws, even what he used to be when he was in his prime, which is crazy to think. And, like I said, he'll still go up there and, get some good offensive rebounds. And that's one thing I think the Clippers can definitely use, somebody who knows how to get offensive rebounds. Now, I will say this, Andre Drummond can get some good offense. He can get good offensive rebounds as well. So I don't want to leave Andre Drummond out the picture when it comes to that, because he can also provide that also. So I feel like, and then with Boogie, what I'm saying, he's already used to the Clippers culture, already being there, part of it, knowing how they operate, knowing how Ty Lue likes to utilize him and knowing his place. So this is the reason why I said I think all three picks, either one of those picks would be, feasible for the Clippers, because they don't really need much in the big man area. They just need maybe an extra body or two on the roster that can fill the roster. So just in case, Zubac or somebody goes down, they have an extra body there they can utilize until they get back healthy. And, as I said, the reason why I like Dwight Howard the most, even though he probably, isn't most people's pick out of the three, he can actually teach Zubac. If they decide to keep Zubac, he can actually teach him a little bit more about how to be more of an effective big man and how to have more of a presence in the paint. And this is the reason why I didn't want the Clippers to let go of Serge Ibaka, because Serge Ibaka can do the same thing. And Serge Ibaka has the IQ and the know-how to ingratiate and teach what he knows as well. And this is what I'm saying. See, the Clippers really want Zubac to excel. I mean, just lately, Lawrence Frank says they want, they want more of a role for Zubac, and they want him to reach his potential. That's what Lawrence Frank was saying, which is the president of the Clippers. So if they want him to reach his potential, it's good to have Ty Lue try to ingratiate him and teach him certain things, but it'd be better to have a big man on the bench there like a Dwight Howard, who's been to a finals, who's won a championship, who's carried a team to the finals in the Orlando Magic, and who has been a mega superstar at one point, show Zubac how to be a dominant big man. And see, this is what you need sometimes. You need that locker room presence guy who's willing to put his arm over the younger guy and say, hey, I'm going to carry you under my wing, and I'm going to show you certain things that you don't know that allow you to be more effective when you're on the floor, in which other teams won't be prepared for. And this is the reason why I say I think Dwight Howard will be the better big man pickup out of all three of them, because I feel like his wisdom and his IQ is higher than the other two players. Even though Boogie already knows the offense and been there and knows the system and the culture, Dwight Howard would fit right in, because like I said, he's Dwight Howard is just happy to be in the league at this point. He's happy to still have a job and, still be able to play and still be, kind of effective whenever he's called upon. So, I mean, it would be to me, it would be a huge loss for the Lakers, really, in regards to having size in the paint, but it'll be a huge addition for the Clippers because it'll make them a little bit more, it'll add to their depth. Now they got more wisdom. Now they can plug and play, Dwight Howard at times, certain instances in games, and it'll make them more effective in certain ways, even in little ways that maybe, some people might not even notice, because even though Dwight Howard only averaged like 6.5 points a game and 4 or 5 rebounds a game in like 60 plus games he played last season, like I said, his IQ is unmatched, you know what I'm saying? And then based upon the way they ran the offense with the Lakers, they maybe didn't utilize him the right way, whereas Ty Lue would be able to utilize him the right way and get maybe, 8 or 10 points out of him a game and maybe get 6, 7, or 8 rebounds. You see what I'm saying? And, plug him in the playoffs where, he knows how to play in the playoffs. He knows how to be effective. He's been there and done that before. And even though Demarcus Cousins averaged about 10 points, I think 10.5, something like that this season that he played, I think with the Nuggets and everything like that. But like I said, the IQ is what you really want to have when you're trying to win championships. You don't need all talent. Clippers got enough talent. Talent, if it's based upon talent, the Clippers got probably the most in the NBA on one team. As I just said yesterday, they got a guy named Amir Coffey that came on from the bottom of the bench, and he's dropping 30 plus points several games this past season, and nobody even knew who he was. And then they got Brandon Boston Jr. and all these other young guys who showed some talent, who had a couple big games this season himself. So they got talent. That's not really what they need. They need more wisdom, and they need more guys to ingratiate in the offense that'll build a culture where we know how to play with our backs against the wall. And, it doesn't matter what situation we're in, we're still the favorite to win it. You see what I'm saying? And having high IQ basketball players like that, which their best player, Kawhi Leonard, mentioned a couple years ago in the bubble, that's what they need. They don't need all talent. They got plenty of talent. They need high IQ basketball players to spread the wealth and teach each other how to play situational basketball to help them thrive in situations where it looks like it's going down for them, where they're able to climb their way out of situations and still be effective. And, when you have guys like that on your roster, it makes a difference. That's the reason why the Lakers won a championship with Dwight Howard a couple seasons ago, because they utilized him the right way in the bubble and allowed him to play in certain minutes and have him be effective in certain ways. And on top of that, with him shooting free throws better now as he's gotten older, it's more of an opportunity for him to get on the floor if he's not too tired or fatigued, because, you got to remember he is older. But, I definitely think that, there's a lot of good things going there with that. So, but even still, we'll see who they decide to go with, if it's one of those three, or maybe it's another candidate who comes up later on. But those three big men are in the works right now. And that's where it looks like they might be setting their eyes on. So we'll see who they pick, or see who they pick up in the offseason and go from there. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.